How are you, folks? Good to see you. Actually, I can't see you. You can see me, but we'll use the term to mean that we're seeing everybody. So, welcome. How are ya? It's Wednesday, a great day to be alive. Brad, how are you doing? Lois, good to see you. Warrior Princess, Charlotte. I think I saw Karen in here earlier. The Queen of Courts. We're going to have her back on, folks. The woman has a lot more to share. So, hey, Blazing River, how you doing? Franny, good to see you. Alfred, good afternoon, or whatever it may be. Nick, good to see you. Kim Trails, hello. Robin, good to see you. Marion, Jason and Brian, how the heck are you, my friend? Milky Way Weekly and Jaguar Spirit, peace to you. So, what is that? Anaracha, okay. How are you doing? Thought I saw you, Karen. Good to see you, Peter. Hello, Kaz. Good to see you as well. Lori, Knowledge Seeker. How the heck are you, Lori? Good to see you. Hypnotherapy Pixie, I love that name. Sarah K, far out. How are you doing? Good to see you. Robin, Barbara, in Experimental Element. Hello, hello, hello. So, Mrs. B, good to see you. Peace. Yeah, so odd times we live in. We are folks in this time that has been, prophesied, talked about, foreseen, foreknown, foretold. If I come up with another one, I'll let you know. Nonetheless, it's real. It's here. I mean, I'm going to go over some recent stories, folks. Things be a changing. And the thing that we all should focus in on is to live the moment. Yeah, it's cool and probably wise to take note of the signpost, um, seek within. Going to give a little secret away. How you begin to seek your spirit guide, it's you. You are your spirit guide. Let me see how I can put this. We are so limited in how we think of ourselves, all of us. It's much akin to how we see the universe. From our position in the Milky Way and where we're pointed out, we only see about 3% of the known galaxy. 3%. That carries over to how we are spiritually as well. I know this is going to sound odd, but we live in multi-dimensions, multiverses. And most of us go through life only recognizing at the very most 1, 2 levels, even rare those who can see 3 and beyond. Your spirit guide is you. How do I say this? You are God. You're not the all, you're not the God, but you are God. You have the same attributes of a God. And I know this is hard for a lot of people to accept, but we live at the same time in multiverses. And since time, and I was going to draw this out, did not have time. I was busy this morning, folks. Yeah, isn't that odd, Brian? I agree, my friend. So, hey, Chelsea Rose, how are you? Good to see you. So I was going to draw this out, and because I want it to be, start thinking about this. So think of time, and as I brought this up with Jeff and I in our Sunday show, think of time in an XYZ frame of reference. And this all ties in. What we're living now is in, you could call it the Akashic record. What most people don't realize is that the future, if it is in fact the future, is already the future. The future holds and contains events, just like the present, just like the past. Time is a very spatial thing. I crack myself up. Anyway, because it is spatial. And what I'm trying to tell you, each of us, we have it in our vernacular, our axioms that we use, our idioms that we speak. Learn to trust yourself. Well, what made you do that? It was a gut instinct. I can never, I should have listened to myself. I knew it. I don't know why I doubt myself. All of these are not only verbal clues, but they're code. It's you trying to get to understand. It's you guiding you. Now, there are other spirits, no doubt. But it's going to be very difficult for you to get to know another spirit when you don't even know your own. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble in that way. Get yourself confused real quick. And so if you begin to understand that the future holds events, otherwise it's not the future. Now, you can begin to debate, what does that mean? Does that mean that everything is in concrete, written in stone, so to speak? No, because time is fluid. However, a house is only defined as a house when it has walls. And so time, future time, is set within the laws, just as the present, just as the past. It's that expression, if I could have just gone back in time, I'd have done it different. No, you wouldn't. No. You did exactly what you were going to do. And that still small voice that so many have a hard time understanding, much less listening to, is you. It's like you're speaking into a private microphone right into your own spirit. You're trying to say, remember, you're living a physical life experience. Your spirit is experiencing a physical life event. You have been put into the time corridor. You are at the place that it was always meant for you to be at. Now, as with the looking glass device, the future has an infinite amount of unrecognized possibilities. One's going to be chosen, regardless. It's been set. It's like looking at a photon. Is it a particle or is it a wave? Well, we know what happens. The exact opposite what we think. It's pretty odd. So if you can get into the mindset that you are infinite. You are spirit. The soul, the body have time limits, but the spirit is immortal. In fact, if you want to get right down to it, your spirit, whether it be good or bad, pain or joy, is having the experience of a lifetime. We'll have many more. We'll probably have so much. I mean, it doesn't stop. So how do we put this? It's a particle. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. You're absolutely right. It's a particle that travels in waves. So when you begin to look at it like that, how fortunate are you to be in the age of questioning? I like what Bobby wrote, and Bobby's a pretty sharp guy. If you read his comments, you'll learn a lot. He got it. He got the metaphor about no eyes. It's no eyes. Anyway, if you catch what he writes, is the fact that everything is in code. It is. Weird, but I think it's amazing. There are those of us who walk among us who got the code. I mean, you're talking to yourself. You're talking to yourself all the time. It's wonderful because we don't realize it, but that's how you occupy space. It's the experience that you are again experiencing. It's pretty far out. And then to think about the time we're in. We're in a cycle that we're going to get into here that's, well, the train, it's already off the tracks, folks. Think of time in spatial increments, and each increment within itself is an epoch of time. And so what you have is this boom, 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 boom. I waved my hand like that, but actually I did not. What I did do was that my hand was in a space bubble, you could call it, in a motion. And that motion was not seamless. It is, in fact, made up of, depending how far you want to take it down, could be billions of steps, each within itself an epoch of time. It's called quantum mechanics. So if we begin to look at it, our energy, our spirit energies are immersed in a time that, again, we are of the age of the questioning age. And not all those in the questioning age are actually fully awake. Many are in a startled state of still trying to figure it out. You know how we've all experienced it. It's that experience when you're awakened suddenly, when you're pulled back into your body and you are started awake, you have a hard time. And it happens to me so often that I'm getting used to it. It's like falling. You know, you get used to that feeling, then you begin to build equilibrium, no matter if it's a fall or a rise. And that point where you're going, okay, where am I? And that's where many in the awake community are at. And then there's those who have become fully awake or fully aware. And I think that's the other thing. You can be awake, but not fully aware. I mean, again, that which is above, that which is below. That which is below is which is above. So it all comes full circle. So we're immersed in a time. And folks, I want to put this in context. I was meditating. I used to call it prayer. Isn't it odd how you learn so much when you come out from the different spells that you find that I often say this, even if you're walking through a manure patch, it will grow great vegetables. I mean, it just depends on your point of view. And how I look at this is that I am privileged. If it's true that we pick our time, wow. Are we the envy of every other person out there in the spiritual realm? Oh, yeah. Wow. Maybe that is why we're seeing such an influx of new spirits into the earth realm. They want to be here to witness this, to experience it. Maybe they knew that they would be asleep and that they would not awake until after the event. I think their ticket was, they said, sure. I mean, at least I could say I was there when it happened. I mean, it's like when you're at the end of a race. What time is the most exciting part of a race? The beginning when the gun goes off? But what's even more thrilling is the end. And if you could get a ticket to the cosmic event of an epoch of time, what would you do to say that you were there? You know, turns the whole thing around. You know, you're not going to get involved in the hate. You're not going to get involved in the division. You become aware of the life around you. I mean, I think those are the bonuses. And now we get to see things unfold again that have been foretold. Cycles. It's all cycles, folks. We are in multiple cycles. You know, I like to dance. And the thing I love about dance is that dance is a fluid expression of spirit experiencing movement in a physical form. You know, that's pretty far out. So let's check this out. The world we live in. Let me go. Bum, 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 bum. Here we go. So the world we live in. All right. And it's all related. Think about last night, you know, when we was talking with Claudia and Dr. Albers. I found this one odd. Now, folks, this all ties into what No Eyes said. Russia reveals nuclear spaceship that will fly to Mars in a very near future. Interesting concept page. I brought that out. It's very interesting. It looks like they're using a solar reflector to generate energy back here. Yeah, we're ahead of the curve, folks. We talked about this. I just wanted to bring this. Alarm over talks of implants in the UK employees. Folks, it's coming. I think we're already all chipped with the nanobots, but yeah, I don't like this one at all. I think that's probably one of the most horrific horror stories you can imagine. To be held down against your free will, and they implant your body with something that now can rule your body. Wow, that's like total enslavement. You know, I don't mind technology, but there is a limit. You know, you got to draw a line in the sand and say, okay. I don't need that Alexa machine. I don't need that Echo, because guess what, folks? You can equate technology to no privacy. I think they're synonyms, one of the same. Yeah, but this one's weird. What's going on here, folks? Is this biological warfare that we're seeing? More U.S. kids getting paralyzing illnesses. Cause is still unknown. What's going on? Or are we seeing a rapid mutation of the human genome? Or are we seeing a new type of alien life that is now falling down over the world worldwide? And remember, there are trillions of viruses that are falling out of space. Doubt me? Check it out. But folks, people are going to bed kissing their 2-year-olds, their 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. Good night, perfectly healthy children. And in the morning, they're paralyzed. Oh no. How about this one, folks? Now, remember, let's take this all into cycles. We're still dealing with what Noai said. By the way, I'm going to be converting her list into kind of a PDF file. And when I get it done, I'll let y'all know. Gene-edited food is coming, but will shoppers buy? My question is, will shoppers know? I mean, this is not cool. The next generation of biotech food is headed for the grocery aisles, and first up may be salad dressing or granola bars made with soybean oil genetically tweaked to be good for your heart. I don't know. If I look at the past, none of these Frankenstein things ever work out. I mean, the problem is now man is messing with the recipe. And that just doesn't bode well, folks. Hello, Claudia. Sent this article to her this morning. Folks, here you go. China has built an artificial sun, and it's incredibly hot. Now, they're saying it's designed to help develop cheap and clean energy on Earth using nuclear fusion. And I'll show you, there it is, right there. Now, this one's contained, but hey, it's hotter than the sun. Hello, Star Trek, Star War. Look at this, folks. You tell me we're not living in different times. Yeah. I just got a chuckle out of this one. This one should be something we need to be aware of, because the same dramatic changes that are happening in our kingdom are happening in the other two kingdoms as well. Now here, these wild monkeys that thrive in Florida, they're carrying a deadly virus, folks. And what really gets me about this one is that these are rhesus macaws. How many are getting it? Huh? I can't see the chat room. I'll go back and look. Here's where your RH factor factors into what they call jumping. When you have a virus that's in the animal kingdom that jumps over into the human kingdom. This is not good, folks. And this one here is the herpes virus called herpes B. Yeah. This one is not fun. I don't like, in fact, there it is. What this one is doing, folks. Samsung to start testing first smart TVs that can be controlled by your mind. This is where 5G comes in. Folks, this, we haven't even taken the training wheels off the bike yet. And now they're giving us, one of, these advanced racing bikes. This is not good. And remember, the door swings both ways. How about this one? Now, I got stories about DARPA. This is not the time nor the place. But folks, there are things there that are already out there. They're so far ahead of us that you've got bullets that never miss, 2 miles. You have making superhuman soldiers, Terminator robots. Oh, yeah. Fake limbs controlled by the brain and the super people. Can you imagine this? They put a limb on you or an implant and they control your own appendages. You don't. You don't even control your own mind. Turning insects into weapons. Yeah. Human experiment to create better brains. Seafaring drones. Phantom space planes. Yeah. Robots will soon match humans in creativity, emotional intelligence. What defines consciousness? Here's one. Again, I haven't had anyone explain to me how the reincarnation things, what happened to the Neanderthals? Did they, get a species upgrade? But what we have found out, paleontologists, that they faced risks, but apparently no different than what sapiens did. Yeah, I mean, it was a wild, wild world back then. You know what? I am sure that if a Neanderthal, I don't know about Neanderthal, I don't know where they stood spiritually, but he'd probably look at today's world and look at our world and go, holy crap, those people are crazy. All I had to deal with was animals. Look at what this thing's got. Yeah. Folks, what's going on around the world? These purple, magenta lights, the atmosphere turning. Folks, this is not fun anymore. This is getting serious. Florida, Michigan, Washington, places in Italy. Australia. No Eye says, beware when you see the green light. Climate Contrarian uncovers scientific error upends major ocean warming study. Decades now of research based upon a faulty foundation, all wrong. Huge ramification in all the models. I had a friend who sent me this not more than 10 minutes before we went live. Apparently it is so bad in the EU. Free speech no longer exists. Freedom of thought is becoming restrictive. But folks, remember what Dr. Albers said. The rivers are drying up on the Rhine. They don't know where the water is. Yeah. We'll be talking about this more next week. Here is another one from the Weather Channel. Record low water levels are causing chaos in Germany. Drought-like conditions have hit nearly 90% of the country in 2018. Experts fear that this could be a sign of things to come in the future. We know this. We do. We've been warned about this. I mean, people said, someone wrote, all right, let's just say you're right. So what do we do with this now? You live life now. You live it to the fullest. If you have someone you're in love with, love them to the fullest. Start, instead of dividing life, absorbing life. Instead of being at odds with people politically, religiously, or ideology, stop. It doesn't matter. I keep telling people who come on my channel trying to proselytize us, if you believe in Jesus, that's cool. But I expect you to be as respectful for my beliefs as I am of yours. I don't go into your house trying to convert you. Don't be coming into my house trying to convert me. Respect everyone. If people were to start doing this, the politicians would be out of a job within a week. Divisions would stop because we would just look at it and say, so what? Does it really matter? Well, I got the answer. Well, good for you. Glad you got the answer. You want a trophy? Come on here. We'll buy you a trophy, and, it'll say that blank has the answer. That's groovy. Nothing wrong with that. But just because you got your answer, don't mean the rest of us, let me share something to the people who write me, who tell me they have the revelation. Excuse me. Take this to the bank. Your revelation, sweetheart, isn't everyone else's revelation. And everyone else isn't interested in your revelation that you've got the answer. Let's let it be to the fact that you are convinced you have the answer, and that's groovy. That's cool. The rest of us we'll continue on this discovery. And if we find something, we'll share it. Well, thank you, Charlotte. You have mine. In fact, you folks are the best I know of. when I get people who will actually acknowledge in the chat rooms, email me and say that there is something different with this group. And apparently they've been in others, but they said there's only one that they can find on YouTube like this one. Folks, that's to your credit. The energy that is emitted here is contagious. It's healing. It's an immersion into forgiveness. And that's what most people are looking for. People are looking for, they may come in, hot-heady, but the reason why they're here, they want what we got. They're just trying to figure out how they put it into their recipe. That's cool. So got something here because, I've got to do the PowerPoint, folks. It doesn't feel like a true good hour if we don't. A little fact, since the beginning of the first century, I just put 100 AD, Earth has traveled 1 light year. That's 6 trillion miles. Taken us a little over 2,000 years to do it. That's 6 trillion miles, ladies and gentlemen. We are in space we've never been in before. In fact, you could say truly, we are lost in space. I don't think we really know where we are. It's like, who's driving the bus? But be that as though it may, we've traveled 6 trillion miles. Now, what's so very cool about this is that you and I, right now, in this present moment, we've closed out the light year and we're entering into a new light year. And again, these cycles, yeah. So have you heard the cycle of the yugas? The yugas? There is, now I have it in my favorites. I put it back. There is a gentleman that did the best explanation of this as to where we are and how these cycles are replete in every culture. I mean, it seems as far as you go back, and I attest, ladies and gentlemen, that for the species overall, we are regressing. We lost this knowledge. This knowledge was hidden. This knowledge was camouflaged. But nevertheless, something they knew. The ancients divided time into endless cycles, wheels within wheels, all such periods being of various durations, and each marking the beginning or the end of some event, either cosmic, mundane, physical, or metaphysical. There are cycles of only a few years, and there are cycles of immense duration. The grand precession cycle takes nearly 26,000 years. Yeah. The earth, matter itself, once matter becomes material, this earth has the most interesting cycle in how it cycles all matter. It could be said literally that you and I are recycled matter. We eat dead things. Our plants can't grow unless they're growing from dead things. It's messed up, man. I mean, when you start meditating on it, I start laughing. It used to get me down, but I look at it like this. When my time in this physical realm, in this cycle, is done, my spirit guide, me, I think that's why I'm laughing. I think I'm getting it. I got a great sense of humor because I think I'm somewhere laughing at the epiphany that the light bulb has finally come off, right? Or gone off. But nevertheless, so in physics, get this, a sequence of changing states that upon completion produces, give me a second here, I'm in the way. I always love how that works. Okay, man. Into the final state identical to the original one. I read that and I went, whoa. So upon completion, the final state is identical to the original one. Makes sense about the spirit guide. One of a succession of periodically reoccurring events. A complete alteration in which a phenomenon attains a maximum and minimum value, returning to a final value equal to the original one. Well, if we put this into spiritual terms, it's exactly what I described when we started this. Mathematics, a permutation of a set of elements that leaves the original cyclic order of the elements unchanged. So no matter how you go through this life, your spirit is going to be unchanged. You're going to know the experience. You're going to be richer for it. Now look about computers. The smallest interval of time required to complete an operation in a computer, they're called cycles. A series of computer operations repeated in a unit. Everywhere. So you have gears within gears within gears. You have cycles within cycles within cycles. And when you begin to consider the perfectness, you see, you are perfect. You're experiencing what is defined here as imperfect. But you see, what we understand is that perfection is as much an illusion as it is a reality. And when you look at your life, and when you begin to consider all the things, even now as I speak to you, that are being required to fit perfectly, you begin to see from a different point of view how precious and unique your cycle is. You have a cycle of timing. Women know about the cycle. Men have cycles. How about this one? Any complete round or series of occurrences that repeat or is repeated. A round of years or a recurring period of time, especially one in which certain events or phenomenon repeat themselves in the same order and at the same intervals. Any long period of years or age. How old are you? What's your age? And so at the moment that your spirit, it's like it's you, but it's going to be reunited back with you. It's a cycle that you're here. It's a cycle of time. And this is all required in that total thing that we call life, which is so bizarre. The only thing I can call it, I don't know what else to say. But it is bizarre, no doubt. Give me a second here, folks. I'm driving the bus. I'm not texting, though, as I'm driving. So, when we start looking at this, and tomorrow we're going to go and really, I felt I was kind of rushed and really looking at all these events and start talking about it, from a multi point of view. You see, I've contended that there can be no one right religion and all the rest be wrong. I think that there is a thread within all. And we cannot afford to allow ourselves to become so rigid in our thinking that we miss the piece that very well could help solve your puzzle. Man seeks for it all the time. Not sure how successful we've been. Maybe that's the problem. We got all these spirits coming in here ready to see this spectacular, again, event of the cosmic age. And maybe they just don't care. They're like, hey, I don't care, man. I don't know why I'm here, but actually we do know why they're here. I don't know. It gets a little weird, doesn't it? This is Brian, you got to go. All right. What time are you going to be on tonight, Brian? Let me know that. I found water. When I come back and I look at the discussion in the chat room at times, I'm going, well, what did I miss here? Folks, it is a great time to be alive. There are some rough times ahead. We're already in them. But I'm trying to see if Brian is talking. No. Anyway, thank you, Jamma. It's a great time. And I think this helps put death in perspective as well. I was telling someone this morning in a conversation, I said, you've got death all wrong. I said, quit fearing it. Quit fearing what lies beyond that. Learn to love life now. And I said, start dealing. What is your biggest fear? And and it's the one thing I hear over and over again. Well, I fear I won't have any consciousness. So what? What if you don't? Well, then, and that's where that paradox. Well, how will I be remembered? Well, does it matter? Is it really important that you be remembered? Well, yeah. Okay, well, then start doing things that you can be remembered by. But if it's important for you to be remembered, then what you're implying down deep in your spirit, you're going to be continuing on. So what are you afraid of? And depending where the motif of the soul has been decorated in, you'll find out, judgment and all that other nonsense. And I think the biggest shock is where most people, I don't know, like I said, I'll find out myself, but, it's like you get into the room, it's like, dun, 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 dun. All right, up next, the life of, I'll just pull someone up. Peter Quinn, come forward. Are the scales out? Mr. Quinn, how you plead? And Peter looks around and going, it's just me here. And that's how it works. So, all right, folks, I'm going to be, yes, Sky, I am the philosopher. But that's the key. Start singing. If you haven't danced, then learn to dance. Learn to dance by yourself. The spirits will join in. I can assure you they love to dance. You know, and if anything, they can live vicariously through you. Okay. So I was doing this project this morning. This is all right. I wasn't even going to bring this up, but obviously someone needs to. All right, I'm going to do it. When you are seeking guidance, let's say you're praying for a need, if you pray, and that's cool, and you're looking for favor in your life. There are spirits that are in many, many different aspects of our lives. Every aspect of our life has a hierarchy to it. It's ridiculous to think that it's not, but you need to speak favor and love to the spirits. Even when I came out of Christendom, it's very distinct that there are angels and that each angel, each ranking has a purpose. And, that's why you pray, and you pray that God will answer your prayer. And if you ever do the anatomy of a prayer, you begin to find out that there are billions of things that have to happen in order for a prayer to come true. But the only way that that can happen is that there has to be other intelligences, spirits, energy, forces that are all in cycles in this, how this works. I mean, it's like fortune. How many people seek fortune? But I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, all those who seek fortune, how many of them have ever blessed fortune? How many have ever spoke favor into fortune's life? Spirits have feelings, all spirits, no matter what they be called. How many of you have speak compassion? Could you imagine being a spirit where all they ever want is just what you can give them? Imagine that. How precious would it be for a human spirit to speak fortune? I speak love into your life. Whatever energy that you need, I just speak that energy be met to you. I don't want anything from you. Don't desire anything from you. I just want to speak favor into you. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Well, only the enlightened would say that. Those that understand spiritual things understand spirits get lonely, spirits get hurt. I read some guy said, well, all I have ever seen is lying spirits. Well, guess what? Like attracts like. Think about that, Jack. I'm talking to someone specifically. This is an upgrade for you if you can grasp this. Learn. You want an afterlife. Learn to be compassionate, even to the unseen. Let your energy of love, compassion, and healing flow to the spirits. Fortune, favor, those that look over you, those that have protected you, those that can help you. So there. I hope it's meant for someone, maybe not for all of you, but there's nothing to fear here, folks. Nothing. And you might find your life becoming much more bearable when you start speaking favor to the very spirits that you're wanting them to produce favor into your life. No matter how you look at it. All right. Hey, Gant, how are you doing? Cheesesteak 22, good to see you. Awakened Bean, how are you? Got your email. Answer that later. All right, folks, I'm going to make an exit here. Um, you know, it's not doom and gloom, folks. Remember, even in the midst of the storm is already passing. And we may be coming into the middle of it, and who knows how long it's gone. This has been ongoing. It's the train wreck that started a long time ago. We're just seeing the events of this. And yeah, can I just share this with you? This is why studying history is so important. And not the history through a particular point of view or lens. Read history accounts from multiple forces if you can. And it'll give you a balance as to what probably actually did happen. And from there, then begin to apply that knowledge to your understanding. And things will begin to get a little clearer for you. They will. All right, folks. Thank you. Thank you, Peter, Andy, Annie, Kenneth, Eyes to See. Thank you to all the moderators. Scott Shuthat, I love that. Terenzo, thank you. Everyone, be good to yourself. Thank you, Warrior Princess. We should be getting the pledges here probably the next, I think it's about 7 days from now, Lois. So we'll be getting that to you as well. All right, folks. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. Favor be upon you. May favor be fortunate to you in every part of your life. And love yourself. You'll love others. And that spirit guide, it's within you. All right, folks. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.